You're watching the #1 college television station in the state of West Virginia, BCTV, Bethany College Television, the home of the Bison.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another semester of Bison Roundup. It's been a while since we've been back here.
I feel like it's been too long.
I am Carlo Guadagnino. Alongside me is A.J. Brettell. A.J., did you lose any money yesterday on the Super Bowl?
No, I was too up in the air about the game at the beginning, so I decided to keep my money safe. I mean, you know, being a college kid, I don't have much money to begin with, so figured I'd lay low a little bit for once.
Well, that makes one of us, because I lost a good bit. Cam Newton kind of hurt me. So.
You know, I think you heard a lot of people in America.
I think
right
Cam
now.
and I had the same reaction in the post-game press conference.
Did you cry a little bit?
I didn't cry, but I definitely got up and walked out as he was talking.
Understandable.
So.
Let me guess. You switched to curling.
I did.
Knew it.
Make your Friday nights a curling night. But let's jump into this. Women's basketball, men's basketball, track we'll cover first.
Yes.
We'll talk. You want to start with the women's basketball team?
Oh, the women's basketball team dropped a 64-55 decider against Chatham. Well, I mean, that's the first time they lost to Chatham since 09-10.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it's been a while.
I was here for the last time they lost.
They've had, I mean, they have, Chatham's kind of been that team where you get your schedule at the beginning of the year, you circle the 2 games, and you kind of call it a day. I mean, those are the ones, you know, you clear the bench, you get everyone some playing time, but Chatham starts letting guys into the university, and somehow their girls' team starts getting better, and here we stand with a tough loss for the Bison.
Well, what this really means is Bethany and Chatham came into this game. Bethany was the sixth place in the President's Athletic Conference. Chatham was in 8th place. With that loss to Chatham, they're probably going to switch or move a little bit further down and might be 7-6 and might be Chatham as the 6th. Just a very sloppy game from the Bison. The unfortunate thing was, we talked before the game, Chatham used to be that team, as you said. You circle on your schedule 2 games, you get 1 there, 1 here, and you talk about how, oh, okay, well, we got Chatham, so we got 2 wins. I said it before the game started, Chatham wasn't that same team, and obviously the lack of presence from upperclassmen for Bethany really hurt, and we saw that yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday. It really hurt them. Just really couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't around for the pregame show at the game, but, you know, I was watching on my computer, and I saw you talk about how this isn't a game that they could exactly let go this year. I mean, it's a different mentality, and not only between the Bison and Chatham, but in the whole conference right now. I mean, there's a lot of teams battling for a lot of positions to make these playoffs.
Well, you got to think about it. You have Thomas More. They're the #1 team in the nation, and they've pretty much locked up the #1 seed in PAC play. I think they have clinched #1.
Yeah. I mean, you could almost clinch them #1 before the season started.
W&J with a win Saturday, they would have clinched 2nd. Yes. Other than that, everybody else in the conference is up for grabs.
It's a constant battle.
There's 2 teams below Bethany, Westminster, and I believe Geneva's down there for the girls.
Yeah, I think you are correct.
And they still have to play both of them. So, you know, no easy way to say it. It's going to be an uphill battle for the Bison.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, with only 2 teams kind of, you know, distinctively up top, I mean, you know they're heading to the playoffs. You can't take any game lightly. I mean, you're down towards the end of the season.
Especially when all roads lead to Kentucky. I mean, you have to.
Yes.
You kind of have to take every game as it might be your last, because if you're when you're on the women's side, last 3-4 years, it's been all about the Saints of Thomas More and that Division I transfer that they have out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was upsetting. I mean, you hate to see it go, but I think the women are back together today in the gym, you know, working on the things that didn't go so well. But you can take some positives out of it. I think Michaela Tipton had a great game. I mean, 18 points, 11 rebounds.
Continued her career.
7 assists. Yeah, I mean, being a senior, you know, I think, like you said, with lacking that upperclassman, like, presence in the locker room and stuff, I think with her being a senior, it was kind of her job to step up, and that's exactly what she did. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't want her senior year to end this way, and especially losing to Chatham, I don't think that's exactly according to schedule.
The other big thing that Bethany really needs to start to get going is Kelsey Doherty and Taylor Large, probably the two tallest people on the team, minus the one girl didn't play. She was injured. It looked like a real tall one. Plays volleyball. I can't think of her name, but
I have no idea.
Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you.
But Kelsey Doherty and Taylor Large did really well rebounding wise.
Yes.
Still struggling with the whole hit the square, make a layup. And that's something that especially when you're playing college, you gotta be able to make a layup. And it's gonna hurt you, and you lose by 9, and there was probably 7 or 8 missed layups.
Yeah, I mean that really is what kind of changes the mentality, or changes like the flow of the game and stuff. Like you talked about in the pregame, both teams are smaller. Bethany actually with a size advantage. They wanted to run the floor, like you said. They run the floor, they get those layups, unable to convert.
Well, let's move from the women to the guys, who right now I believe are in sole possession of second place, or in a tie with Thomas More. They beat Thomas More last week.
Yeah, they are. I just checked. They are in.
And 2 games back of St. Vincent.
Yes.
So St. Vincent has to lose 2 more, or all roads will lead to Latrobe.
Yes.
But right now, Bethany
sitting at home until they do.
Until they have to play Latrobe, which is nice. Not a game, not with two different halves.
Yes.
The first half, Bethany came out, and it was all Bethany.
It's 42-17 at halftime.
Chatham didn't know what to do. In the second half, they made it a little bit more interesting for all of us folks, especially that was the first game I had called up in the headset in a long time. That never seems to be made easier when I call a game, because I thought we might have to see another overtime game or a double overtime game, as they did get the win at Thomas More in double overtime. But
it's nice to not see Thomas More up top for once in any sport.
Kalik Jones, 20. You had Javante Trujillo
11.
With 11, and Andrew Williams 11. With 11.
Yes.
And I got to mention, since we don't have highlights here, and for the people that were watching, my man Zach, I don't know what I'm going to say. He was attempting a finger roll, but it definitely looked like he was attempting a fast break dunk, and something went wrong in the air. But I mean, he got the points for it, so that's all that matters. But we might need to talk to him a little bit about, if you're going to go up for it, you might go up with 2 hands. Don't do the one. Go up with 2. But all in all, I think the Bison showed that they can give up, they can lose a lead.
Yes.
But still have the athletic ability and the basketball knowledge with a team like Chatham to kind of, hey, we're still
here.
Yeah.
The one thing that we talk about so much when we do the men's games is how they're ball hawks, and they constantly are forcing turnovers, and they're constantly, like, their turnover margin's so high in their favor. I mean, they've been leading nation in steals and stuff, but we actually saw something yesterday that we don't see very often. They were actually behind in turnovers. They turned the ball over 20 times.
Wow.
And only caused 15 turnovers.
Well, but one of those big turnovers was at the end of the game. Clock's winding down. Isaiah Brown from Chatham goes down the middle of the lane, looks to have a wide open layup, and I believe Kalik Jones not only takes the ball away from him, goes over into the corner and draws the foul on the other end of the court, which is pretty much the icing on the cake.
Yes.
So still an all-around win, all-around win for Bethany.
Yeah, it's
coming off of the double overtime win.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they've been on a roll lately, winning 7 of their last 9. So this is what they need to continue if they want to try to stay in second place and even possibly push for first place. Because playing at home in a playoff atmosphere is so much different than trying to go to the road. So I think that they are going to try to do everything in their power and will to keep that road home as long as possible. And then if worst case scenario, go to Latrobe only in the finals.
Well, we've already seen that Bethany can beat St. Vincent, especially at home.
Yes.
And the game at St. Vincent wasn't a St. Vincent that you expected. I mean, in past years, if St. Vincent's going to get you at home and they get on a run, it was over. Well, that didn't happen this year. So Bethany, I think, has already proven to themselves that they can beat St. Vincent, and I think they've proved to the rest of the conference there's not a team that can come to Bethany and or where Bethany goes that can beat them. I mean, on any given day, I think Bethany goes in as the best team.
They're looking really good right now.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. And
how you doing?
Pierce?
I was told by the producer and the founder of the show that.
Oh, hey, those are mine. Right there, right here.
Oh.
Green and red. I guess these are yours.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a commercial break because I'm going to eat these, and we'll be back for some PTI after this.
Yes.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills?
Check.
Driver's license?
Check.
And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation. You're resigning? Why? You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. Oh, I forgot. I'll do better. Please don't quit on me.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bison Roundup. I am Carlo Guadagnino alongside A.J. Brettell. This is probably our favorite part of the show, as I get to argue with you about
I love arguing.
Sports and what's going on in the world of sports, not just our little bubble here in Bethany.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the most important thing that happened thus far this week. It happened yesterday. Denver, go ahead, tell your cheesy joke before I even finish introducing it.
Peyton Manning, fun fact. Peyton Manning has now won a Super Bowl with a baby horse and a full-grown horse. Fun fact of the day.
I don't get it. He's the Colts, and then now he's with the Broncos, so.
I thought it was good.
Tee-hee.
Thank you. Thank you for laughing on that one.
Way to go, AJ. That was.
Some people enjoy it.
That's good. All right, so.
You just have a bad sense of humor.
I don't understand how that. No.
You've been watching too much curling.
Hey, you leave my curling alone.
All right, let's talk about Super Bowl.
All
let's
right,
get down
what'd
to
you
it.
think?
I thought we saw what a lot of people didn't expect. Cam Newton finally kind of cave under pressure. I mean, you watch his opening drives and stuff. Hit a lot of overthrown balls. I mean, he was firing balls. I mean, harder than I've seen quarterbacks fire balls recently. I don't know if it was because of the pressure he was being under by Ware and Von Miller and them, but he was firing balls. And I mean, I've seen a couple balls go through Ginn's hands and stuff. And I mean, a lot of receivers just overthrown through their hands and stuff. And I just think he was a little rattled from the get-go.
It doesn't help. Cam's used to having defenses where you're going to have one guy run up the field. At the end, he's going to run up the field. He's going to come and run the circle and try to basically you have time in your head. The problem with going against Denver's defense is nobody left their lanes. Their D-line stayed exactly where they were supposed to go. They kept Cam in the pocket, forcing him to throw passes where he wasn't comfortable throwing them. And you touched on it a lot. He hit a couple receivers right in the hands. Yeah. The thing I think is not getting enough talk about is first off the challenge from Carolina. Jericho Cotchery catches a pass and gets a first down, which if that first down stands, that drive keeps going. Unfortunately, that drive got shut down right away.
I thought it was a catch. Yeah, I definitely thought 100% it was a catch.
Everybody that was on replay and everything said it was a catch. The only people that apparently didn't was the officiating crew yesterday. They also let Denver's corners kind of, I don't know what the proper word is, but there was a lot.
They were a little more physical than they should have been. Yeah.
I think Jericho Cotchery at one point got assaulted on the field and nothing was called. But a lot of people are going to give Cam a lot of problems for this. He's supposed to be the superstar. He compared himself. He said LeBron James should be compared to him. still a young player.
Yeah, 26 years
player.
old. I mean, I think we'll definitely, next year maybe, not so much, because I think a lot of teams are on the rise, but I think within the next few years, I do think we'll see Carolina make a run for the Super Bowl again, and I do think they'll make it there. I think, as we saw yesterday, that offensive line definitely needs a little bit of help. I understand you are playing the best defense in the world, but they got absolutely manhandled by that defensive line and linebacking core from the Broncos.
I'm going to disagree with you on the fact that we will see Carolina back in the Super Bowl next year.
Oh, you think that they will?
100%. They're the best team in the NFC.
All right.
Moving on. Derek Fisher fired today.
Yes.
Knicks. I believe his record as a coach in 2 seasons was 40-93. In fact, it was so bad that he got trolled on Twitter by Dennis Rodman, who said, I have a pretty good career. I had a pretty good career in the NBA, and I coached over in Korea. Hey, Knicks, can I get my name thrown in the coaching ring?
Yeah, when you're getting trolled by Dennis Rodman, it's pretty bad.
I think if you're Phil Jackson, what do you say? Because you have a relationship with Dennis, but I think that meeting goes a little bit like, Dennis, thanks, but
no, thank you.
We're gonna look other places.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna keep.
We'll keep you in
here,
mind, but we're gonna look elsewhere first.
Do you think they rushed? Do you think they got Derek Fisher out of there? Do you think it was a bad decision having him? You know.
I think they made the right choice by getting rid of him. I mean, you have a player in Carmelo who, I mean, he's a prolific player.
His way out.
Yes, he's on his way out, but he's still a prolific player. And he wants to make a run for the playoffs. I mean, think about it. He's played on some pretty bad teams. He's played under some pretty bad coaches. And every time trades start happening and stuff.
You got to remember back in the day, his early career with the Nuggets. He still had the headband, headband with the cornrows.
But for the Knicks specifically.
Oh yeah.
Every time trading starts happening, you hear, oh well, they need to get this player for Melo. He needs help. He needs help here. But it never goes to. They never give him support that he needs. I mean, they had Shumpert and J.R. Smith, and they got rid of them. I mean, it's like the few players he had helping him, they shipped off to Cleveland. So I think you need a coach that's gonna understand the team needs, because, like you said, Melo is on his way out. But why not try to give him something to play for rather than just he can sit out games when he's hurt because there's nothing to play for other than pride.
See, I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Melo's not on his way out in the sense that he's heading towards retirement.
No, but he's getting older. He's still getting older.
Melo's on his way out of New York. Melo will be out of New York by the trade deadline this year.
You think so?
Him and Phil Jackson do not get along. Phil Jackson has said that since he came into the team. I think this is the beginning of parting ways with Melo in New York City, because Derek Fisher was Melo's coach. You're gonna fire the man's coach now. It's kind of like you said. They already traded all the talent away. They've already gone. They've had 3 straight years of high round draft picks. They're rebuilding. That's what New York's in. They're in a rebuilding phase. So, do I think that this was the best decision? No, but I also don't think that Derek Fisher should have got the job. I think it's like telling me Kobe's going to retire and next year you're going to make him a head coach.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably not going to work out. Kobe knows a lot about the game, but can he translate that and teach?
Exactly, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, of course, 90% of the players who play in the NBA who have had good careers, of course they know the game. But there's a difference between knowing the game and a sense of being a player, and then putting it out there to your team and trying to help them understand where to be at the right moments and stuff.
Moving on to, I believe, retirements was our next talk. We're going to talk Marshawn Lynch officially hanging him up. There's the rumors that Megatron has told both family and the organization in Detroit that 2015 was his last season. And that guy that you made the cheesy joke about in that first little debate there, I'm assuming that we saw him play his last football game.
Yes.
I'll start with Marshawn Lynch. Is that how big of a loss is that to Seattle?
Yes, it's going to hurt them a lot. I mean, as you've seen in the past years, beast mode has kind of been the phrase that's come up. I mean, he put himself out there between the I'm just here so I don't get fined, you know why I'm here. I mean, the Skittles, beast mode. I mean, he's kind of had a big part in the NFL, even off the field, you know? I mean, everyone was always talking about him. He was one of the biggest. I mean, they were comparing his stats to a couple Hall of Fame running backs, and they said they do think he'll be in the Hall of Fame because he has had a pretty good career.
Better than most.
How bad are they going to miss him? I don't know, because they didn't use him when they were on the goal line last Super Bowl.
Well, that's what it comes down to. I mean, if you're Marshawn, are you walking away from football because you're done playing? Or are you walking away from football because Pete Carroll has pretty much made you a joke in the NFL after one play?
Yeah.
And people forget the play before that, when Marshawn Lynch takes them down to the 2-yard line, carries an entire team with him. I actually just watched the Beast Mode highlight last night when he runs through an entire Saints defense.
Yeah, the Saints, yes.
And that they said it then, and it was the nail in the coffin, and that's what he provided. People also forget, though, early in his career when he was in Buffalo, the man couldn't run 2 yards to save his life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is his career over? Is he? I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't put him up there.
It depends. I mean, I think
if you're not going to put Barry Sanders in the Hall of Fame, then you're not going to put...
True, that is very true. I mean, there's a lot of speculation. A lot of people have different opinions of him, so we'll see. But the thing is I think he's serious about his retirement, unlike Calvin Johnson.
You think so? You're with me on Calvin's getting out of Detroit because Calvin wants to win because he can't. It's not about the money anymore. To Calvin.
Yes,
he's got money. He's had money. He's been the prominent player in Detroit. They got him a quarterback. I say that with quotation marks figuratively because Stafford's okay, but I mean most of his job is hey, throw the ball up in the air and let Megatron go out and do what Megatron does. The big name is Denver ready for the Brock show.
I mean, we saw this year that he can win games.
He can.
How good is he legitimately? Unsure. I mean,
lost to the Steelers.
It's a small sample size of what the big picture is, you know?
One of those sample teams was the Steelers.
Okay, I understand you are a Steelers fan.
Sure
and since we're talking Pittsburgh, side note, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch National Signing Day, Pitt actually had a pretty good day signing players.
Moving on
so look out for the Panthers this next year.
No look out for the Panthers. No look out for the Panthers. Although there is a good game coming on next year. It'll be Penn State Pitt, first time in a couple years.
I have 45 tickets to that game already, so.
Oh, you giving me one?
I'll be there. If you want to come on.
Hey, I like the sound of that. But, all right, moving on. Last topic. The Warriors still, I believe they're on pace to break the 72 wins.
That's kind of what Steph Curry keeps talking about, the 72 wins. He's always talking about it. Of course, even if no one else other than him's talking about it, inside the locker room, I think they all know what the end goal is.
I don't think they're hiding it at all. I mean, every time you hear somebody from the Warriors talk and they get asked that question, you normally see people when it comes down to a record like that, you want to, we don't want to talk about it. It's just game by game, game by game. I haven't heard the Warriors talk about that at all. That's been the goal, apparently, since they stepped foot into training camp this season.
Well, I mean,
other than obviously repeating and winning another title, but
they start off the season, I mean, on that unbelievable undefeated streak, and now we saw that they can be beat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've lost 5 games. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it's 5 right now.
Yeah, and so they're not Superman. They're not invincible. You know, I mean, they can be beat. The question is heading into the playoffs, I mean, eventually towards the end of the season, I mean, that Western Conference is so strong. I mean, that's where all your best teams are. The East is a lot, well, I can't even say a little bit. The East is a lot.
The East
worse.
is 2 teams.
Yes. And now you see this West Conference, a lot of people, the Spurs especially, being very huge contenders in a potential title run.
Unfortunately,
they got smacked by the Warriors.
I gotta stop you there, man. The Spurs, I love the Spurs, Tim Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker, but guess what? Those guys were young when I was getting into college. We're 6 years down the road, man. They can't run with the Warriors. There's one team out of the West that could legitimately run with the Warriors, and that's the Thunder. And that's only because they have younger athletes that could match up.
I think the Clippers.
Do I think that
stand chance?
Do I think that Steph Curry? No. I'm not giving the Clippers.
And that's not me being a Clippers fan. I'm just
not
saying.
giving the Clippers any type of love until they prove they can win a playoff series.
Did they beat the Spurs last year in 7? I do believe so. Chris Paul with the game winner.
Yeah,
shout out CP3.
Wow, all right. But there's only one team that could beat the Warriors, and I already told you who that is, and it's the Bulls. Back in the day.
Oh.
I hope they go and take this record, and it's all nice.
Well,
and we
Carlo,
stop hearing about it because we all know Michael on the court with Steph Curry guarding him. It ain't Michael scoring 50. Who you putting on Scotty? He's scoring 30. Who you putting on Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman don't even have to score 10. He's going to get all the rebounds in the world.
Listen, you love talking about this, but we'll never see it happen. So your best bet.
We could.
Let's go find a scientist.
I'll go find Tony Kukoc right now, and we'll bring him back, and we'll let him play.
Get a time machine. Get your Spurs team, put them into the time machine, travel back, and let's see it happen. But other than that, it comes down to today and who will beat them.
It's the Thunder.
I would have to agree, and the Clippers.
Actually, I think it's the Thunder and the Cavs. The Cavs are going to make it back to the finals. It's going to be another.
Cavs might not even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But we're out of time, so
that's it.
Say your goodbyes. We'll be back actually.
We'll be back after this. You're crazy.
You're crazy. Cavs are not good. Cavs are overrated.
With Kyrie coming back, you're wild, bro.
When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George. Learn the signs of a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Spot a stroke fast.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
The odds of winning 7 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Carlo Guadagnino. Alongside me is A.J. Brettell, and this is Bison Roundup. Obviously, we always have differing opinions, but
yeah, always. I mean, I think right before we went on break, we did agree on one thing. I think it was. I forget what it was, but
all I know is these M&Ms are good.
Yeah, I mean, shout out
to Sprouse. It only took him a month. It only took him like 6 episodes for him to actually get them to us. But
all right, we finally got them. That's what counts.
Well,
these are good M&Ms too.
Let's thank some people. We got a new crew. So we
Yes.
want to thank everybody on the new crew. Lamont, you're old, so you get your own special.
Still
thank
love you though.
But you're old now. Pierce, thank you for bringing us the M&Ms. Katie and Lexi, thank you for doing whatever you guys were doing today.
Emmett,
you did
love
your
you.
job.
Marlon, well done. Keep learning. Back there.
I want to thank Professor Yankis Gamble, Jason Smith, Mr. Dumas, Dr. Sutherland, everybody at Dr. Rodenberg. She was at the game on Saturday, all
New
dressed in
president.
her Thursday, or in her orange. I said in her Thursday. I don't think you said that. But other than that, we'll probably be back. We'll be back next week. Won't be a probably unless Eric cancels us in the next 5 days.
I hope not.
We'll be back next Monday.
Hopefully talking about playoff push.
It'll be women's basketball, men's basketball, track, and baseball and softball kicking off. So,
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll see you guys next week.